Hello, everyone. How are we all doing? Welcome back to this, the fourth of our series editing or showing the editing tools in Novelcrafter. It's been very exciting. We've come up with some new prompts and yeah, just a lot of goodness. Um, yeah, so it's very sunny in the UK at the moment, which after like the last 6 months of rain, loving it. So yeah, good morning or afternoon. Just so you know, whether you're on the lives or watching this back, the document is the same as last week's and it's already in the description below. But yeah, so the aim of this session is to mainly go over all of the wonderful community prompts that people have been trying. Like I've not gone through them myself yet, but looking through them, they seem so promising, and I'm really excited to try them out with the updated chapter. So, in the Write With Me stream on Wednesday, we had some little sessions. Um, I went and so we had some sessions. I went and kind of finished tidying up chapter one, changing some of the sections, and just in general, kind of. Sorry, I'm just sorting out my sound. And just kind of in general, getting things kind of to a more polished look. And so I thought the first thing we could do, given that, is show off the new brutal level drunk prompt. So if you look here in the Notion doc, you can copy it and add it straight into your prompts. Go to your prompts, click new, and create from clipboard. I have my brutal level, so new brutal level drunk. We have removed the context to ensure that it's not kind of having any positive bias. We have kind of given it some prescription, but also a lot of input in here to try and remove any like formatting. We want it to kind of be a stream of consciousness for the purposes of this. It's slightly less brutal than the original, but the feedback it gives is better and kind of more applicable. It's not just kind of slating you off without any reason. The only caveat really with this prompt, and I guess with all kind of like analysis prompts, when you only do them on one scene, is that while they have the context of the scene summaries, they don't know everything that's gone in and like character development and stuff. So, I mean, I'm really looking forward to a time where, like maybe Haiku 3.5 is good enough that we can just throw that out there and be like, yo, give it me, and then send like an entire novel and it only cost pennies. So yeah, that's my kind of hopes. And so yeah. Oh, thank you very much, Sam. I have my tea delivery. So yeah, so we've also got the settings. We were trying out different settings, but it's this top one here that we have gone with. So yeah, if you copy the prompt, everything will be there. So the first thing I'm going to do before we look into all the other amazing prompts is try this one out. So I'm going to go select AI, analysis, brutal level drunk, select that. I'm also then going to go context, chapter one, or chapter one, scene one, but because there's only one scene, it's chapter. And then I'm going to say, I always go for like let's go or have it at me. I mean, I usually say have it at me, but I think Corey's got me to saying have it at me. So yeah, let's see how it goes. I'm going to name this actually. Brutal level drunk. So yeah, I'm kind of excited. And I'll put this, of course, in the Discord document. Yeah, Corey's trying to get me to remove language, like letters and words now. Okay, so everyone, um, this has the English language, and so or like British English, and so some of the swears might be a little bit weird. But yeah, let's just ignore the fact that there's some swears here. It's totally fine. Everything's fine. It didn't call me anything. Okay, so I mean, first of all, okay, solid 6 out of 10. That's high for this prompt. Like before I started doing the edits, I was getting like fours, so I'm happy. So let's have a little look just to see, and we can kind of go through and be like, what do we agree with? What don't we? Are we going to take anything and use it? Um, okay. Uh, okay. Interesting that it's apocalyptic drama it's come up with. So it's kind of it's getting the vibes of the tropes, even if it says it's into it. That's cool. Um, Wow, it's been really sweary today. Let's just ignore that. It starts off really slow. I hear thinking, Christ on a bike, is this going to be a manual on how to be an electrician? Um, okay. So basically saying that the pacing is really slow at the beginning. And to be fair, I found that this is a very common thing that the prompt brings up. Like I put in a couple of first chapters from like my favorite books, and again, it tears into them. So I think definitely take everything with a pinch of salt and don't get offended, because I know I'm the first to get offended when an AI criticizes my work and I'm like, you know nothing. Um, so yeah, I mean, I say criticizes my work when the AI criticizes the stuff it has written. Anyway, um, so yeah, so that is something that I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna maybe go into. So if I go to the very end, plan of action. Characters. Delilah's all right. She's got that whole snarky underdog. Oh my god, it's now not saying spunk. Um, she's got that whole snarky underdog thing going on, which is about as original as a ham sandwich, but at least she's not a complete wet blanket. I like that she's got some bite to her, but for the love of Ale that's holy, give us more. What's her backstory? Why should I give a care about her beyond the fact she can fix a fuse box? Um, I mean, to be fair, I've mentioned him twice being referred to other things. There is no knowledge of Nicodemus yet. He comes in the next chapter. So, I mean, in the sense of like, that is valid, but it's going to get addressed very soon after. Oh, okay. Our drunk boy likes Perrin. Okay, it's interesting that it's like, you're giving me too much information about electrics, but then it's also like, but I also want more information. So, I guess that's the kind of the world building stuff aspects. So maybe a bit more world building, or but not lots, just like a little bit. What feels forced? Lol. Okay. Um. Okay, so it's saying it's interesting enough to keep reading, to maybe pick up the pace. So it's like, okay, there's some good ideas, but maybe you need to like clear up some of the jargon. Give us more about the world, but do it through action and dialogue. And we're not here for a leisurely stroll through your imagination. We want to be dragged along at breakneck speed. Okay. Um, yeah, drunk Claude has no inhibitions. So what I might do now is so I'm going to go into the right interface so I can just see my chapter. I'm something that Jean-Luc, one of our mods on the Discord, was talking about was rewriting bits. So I'm going to then open up this chat, pin it, and be like, Uh, so I'm going to be like, okay, I get your point. Makes sense. Can you try rewriting this boring repair manual bit that you're talking about and try and make it more interesting? But like, keep it in the same writing style. It's gotta fit in. Let's see. All right, you cheeky beep. I'll give it a go, but don't expect Shakespeare, yeah? I'm 3 sheets to the wind and operating on pure spite at this point. Here's how I'd rewrite that boring bit about repairs. Okay, now I need to like actually find it. Um, Whoever did this knew exactly where to hit. Okay, so this is like the proper repairy bit. Oh, okay, yeah, it's firing a lot. Okay, so it's actually like rewritten a lot. It's not just like rephrased bits. It's like full on. So yeah. Oh, Emery, let us know. How did you? What did you do to tweak the drunk prompt to make it more reflective of your target audience? Did you just tell it? Um, Maybe rephrase it a little so that it's. So there, I'm offering him another beer, like Jean-Luc says, and like maybe rephrase it a little bit. Okay, fine, you manipulative git. One family-friendly version coming up. I'm holding you to that beer promise. Um, Although I do like the idea of it's like they took a crash course in how to mess up a city 101. That's funny. Um, I really like this. This kind of mention of the last time it happened. Like this is actually really good. Um, like there's some. I mean, obviously there are some AI isms and stuff that I would remove, but like this is Delilah the Destroyer. Um, and I feel like this is the British English coming through. Delilah, what's taking so long? My tea's getting cold. And to be fair, I kind of like it does show that it doesn't work. It's getting rid of this bit. I can see where it's going. I would, there's definitely bits that I would rewrite, but I can work with that. So I'm just gonna put brutal level drunk prompt, and then I will give you it all. Draft 2. So go onto the 3 dots, the action menu, copy, markdown. So here you can now see if it's not frozen. Rude. Oh my god, has it like? Okay, now you'll do it. All right. For goodness sake, copy, markdown, paste. Huh. I'll get back to you all on that. That's weird. Let me open the thread and see if it does it. Um, there we go. But yeah, so feel free to have a play around with that. The prompt is also in the Discord in the prompt share channel if you want to have a go. Please share any edits that you make. It'll be really interesting to see and kind of play along. And you can have a look at what the original draft and what our latest draft have come out with that. So the next thing I'm going to do is using chat. It's using something that I'll talk a little bit more about in a video that's going to come out in the next couple of weeks. Is using the codex as kind of like a reference point. So I'm going to use the general purpose prompt, and no, I'm going to use the general purpose without a codex, which is basically exactly the same. I've just removed the phrase saying to refer to codex bits. I'm going to give it the context of scene 1, although it won't call it. A minute. If there's no codex, it might. So I'm just gonna. So if you were using this with the codex, you could certainly call it. I'm just gonna copy and paste. So please assign all the characters of this scene as either a parent, adult, or child. And then it gives a brief description of what each of these are. A character can be one or more of these in different situations. Each role doesn't have to be assigned in a scene, only assign the role that they are overall. This is using 3.5 Sonnet. So this technique comes from James Scott Bell, based on the research of a psychologist called Dr. Byrne, who essentially kind of came up with these roles for working out conflict. So essentially, in a situation, you don't want two adults talking to each other because they're going to try and compromise and make things work. So having like a parent and a child, a parent and an adult, a child and an adult, that kind of all works. And we've got the codex entry here. Okay, it's always interesting to see each time what it says. Because like a lot of the times when I was doing the analysis before, it was saying that Delilah was a child, which is perhaps more what I would put her as myself. However, in this particular situation where she's doing repairs and stuff, that perhaps she is in the more adult role in some of her communications. Yeah, Zora's. OS Sense is also curious if changing the alcohol to wine or pina coladas or something. Yeah, I mean, we can totally try that. I will give that a go at the end of the session if you remind me. Nicodemus, parent, not mentioned. Okay, yeah, interesting. I mean, I feel like not assigning the dog a role is, But yeah, it's interesting just to see how it's kind of assigning people and kind of like going through the different roles. And like when interacting with different people, the characters might have different roles as well. So yeah, that it's just an interesting thing. You can do this with like any kind of personality system or yeah, just anything, just to see and get it to analyze and help you get to know your characters more. So that is this. I will. Okay, Emery says that it 100% changes it. So yeah, I'll maybe like we can maybe try with like I don't know 3 different drinks and see how things go. Okay, so now we're going to look at the community prompts. There is a link here to the Discord where you and the specific channel that you can find these in. These are in no particular order. I literally just went and scrolled down and like plonked them in. So it's in the order that I found them, I guess. I've included the codes so that you can more easily copy and paste them. So I might have to add in 3.5. I'm not sure if they're all there, so we'll play by that. But the first one that I'm going to look at is adapted from Neural Splices, scene sequel analysis, which is another writing technique. I think James Scott Bell does talk about it a bit. It's kind of from screenplays where things are separated into scenes and sequels. So it's like action and reaction. And you can kind of see that in the beat prompt that I showed that Corey developed. There is the kind of the first 3 beats are action, the second 3 beats are reaction. So it kind of works out. So we're going to try this. If I go into my prompts, I'm just going to minimize these to make it easier. So this is the scene sequel validator. I'm guessing. Yes. I'm just going to duplicate that. Put it to the top. .5 beta. Just keep the same settings. So then I will go on to that. Actually, I will show you that prompt before I go. My bad. So you can see here, seeking back on codex get genre. I value honesty, even it's critical. Your feedback should be candid and comprehensive. The full text of the scene, the author's writing on, current scene. It's going to ask for kind of like a for you to fill in this for each MRU. Okay, I'll leave it with the codex context for now. Sometimes I'm a bit like unsure whether to remove it automatically or not, but so I'm just going to say, wait, let's do scene sequel validator. So I always name my chats. So, or I try to always name my chats because otherwise you can never find them when you need them. So I'm just asking it to please analyze. Okay. Huh. This is a, okay. This is a probably I should have validated the prompts beforehand. Let me just go to general purpose. I'm just going to replace let's see if that works. Oh, the genre. Okay, that's fine. It's probably because I don't have. There we go. I knew there'd be a very simple reason why. Let's go. What? Oh my goodness. Ugh. I'm just removing some things that I don't care about as much. I will re-put this in. Okay, we have it now. So this, like, if a prompt isn't working, just spend some time playing around with different things. It's okay. Like, that it happens all the time. You just have to kind of like keep trying. And like, luckily it doesn't send the prompt, so you're not wasting any money or anything. Okay, point of view, Delilah. Yep, there's a scene introduction, primary emotion. Okay, again, world building. It's coming up with hinting it. Okay, so hint the backstory a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to take those. Wait, I could just take the entire chat. Ignore me. Let me put this in here. And you can see that a lot of the advice is actually similar to the stuff that we were getting before, which is it's interesting to know. And like if things are kind of like agreeing with themselves, even though they've had different kind of like prompting language, it's something worth knowing. Okay. Next prompt. Let's hope this one goes a little bit more smoothly, but you know, we've got plenty of time. We've still got half an hour left. So, beta reader review, which has been developed by Roger J. The prompt will ask the AI questions you would ask the beta reader to get detailed feedback. So, you want to specify who characters X, Y, and Z are. I've changed in the prompt already from the original character X to be scene point of view character. In my case, characters X and Y are both Delilah and character Z is Perrin. So I'll show you the prompt just so you have a better idea. Beta reader review. And I'm going to edit this just to be Sonnet 3.5. Okay, so seeking detailed feedback. We can see here characters Y and Z. You could have anything in this. You could have a different character, but I've changed it to scene point of view. So analysis, beta reader called Sonnet. I didn't rename it. Context, scene context, chapter 1. Please analyze this scene where character Y is Delilah and character Z is Perrin. And so yeah, I think I did everything. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. And I'll drink my tea. Interesting. Again, the technical repairs were too technical. Which I kind of was like, oh, I don't want it to sound woolly and just be like, oh, she repairs it. And it's like, oh, okay, maybe I could be like that. Maybe people don't actually care if it's super duper accurate. Okay, so again, slowing it down. So something I could do after this prompt is then ask it to give examples of each of these suggestions. Okay, so predictions. The earring likely plays a key role. It does. Perrin may become a recurring character, potentially as both an antagonist and reluctant ally. True. The sabotage of the power grid suggests a larger conspiracy that Delilah may get pulled into, possibly related to her parents' disappearance. Also true. Additional observations. Consider expanding on Delilah's emotional reaction to finding the earring. The Bloodhound's role feels a bit underutilized. Perhaps it could play a more significant role. Definitely something to think about. Delilah's role and actions are consistent with her character. Her practicality, skepticism, and quick thinking come through. To enhance her portrayal, consider showing more of her internal conflict about keeping the earring secret. highlighting her struggle to... Oh, sorry. I've just suddenly had an idea and then I need to, like, write it down. Highlighting her struggle to remain level-headed when confronted by authority figures. Delilah and Perrin's dynamic. They contrast a lot. Okay, so emphasize class divide. Show more of her internal reactions to the unexpected interest. Delilah's actions are generally believable and well motivated. Her decision to hide the earring feels natural given her distrust of authority. To improve, show more of a thought process when deciding to keep the earring secret. Highlight her struggle between curiosity about the sabotage and self-preservation instincts. And emotional impact. The scene's strongest emotional moments come from Delilah's discovery of the earring and the tense encounter with Perrin. To heighten these, delve deeper into Delilah's feelings. Excuse me. Increase the tension by emphasizing her fear of discovery. Okay. So you can see here, it's like it's giving feedback that feels like very similar to the drunk prompt, but also kind of like a little bit nicer. So yeah, let me send you this. Copy conversation. Okay, the third prompt I wanted to show you is by Ashbash, and it's a line edit chat. So if we go onto here, line edit chat. Okay, so I was going to show you the prompt, wasn't I? Ignore me. So this prompt, you're an expert editor specializing in, and then I'm going to change this. No, wrong one. Okay, so codex.get story genre. Your text is to work through the below process to help users refine the prose. After each step, wait for the author to approve before moving to the next step. So I think this is a taking it like one section at a time. So what I'll do is open up the write interface. Maybe select like a random section kind of coming in here, and in chats, open a new thread, select AI, edit. Wait, ignore me first. I need to copy this first because I can't pin immediately. Edit, line edit, and then I'm just going to paste this in. Are any of you guys do you have a favorite prompt so far? Are you all still like very liking the drunk prompt, or are there others that you're now interested in trying out? Okay, interesting. Again, this is just a prompt thing. I just need to edit it. Everything's fine. I mean, that might be enough. Okay, so yeah, that was just me not doing something correctly. Okay, so yeah, Corey already spotted it. Okay, so certainly I'll begin working through the editing process for this paragraph. Let's begin with step 1. Identify the main points of this section. She has an unusual sound. She realizes it's a large animal approaching. A bloodhound appears. The dog is interested in the earring that she's holding. Delilah hides it. The bloodhound sniffs. And then I'll move in here to the right mode so we can actually see what these are. So what's it done is removed. I'm not a big fan of when, like, my personal writing style, I'm not a big fan where it says her ears listened, her ears straining. Like, I'm just kind of like, her body parts don't have autonomy. That's a personal dislike, but so some of these changes I wouldn't choose, but you know, okay, I like that. This bit. So I'm gonna pop. Okay, again, willing herself to stone. It's not necessarily how the character would think, but on the other hand, it's a good start. Uh, yeah, I like the idea of her eyes snapped open. That feels more immediate and like, yeah. There was an emotional brainstorm prompt that could be good for those of us struggling with show don't tell. Do I have that on there? No. Emery, could you at me on the prompt so I can add it to my list? Like, if you just find it in the Discord and then, like, yeah. Just to save me having to search for it. Okay, it's removing filler words now. Ideally, we'd want something that could do all of these steps at once, but on the other hand, because I'm choosing which changes I do. Um, okay, I like something large scurried closer. I'll have a look at that first sentence later. Her eyes snapped open as she scrambled backwards, fumbling with her light towards. Um, okay, I like caught. Thank you, Emery. I will have a look at that after. I'll do it after this prompt. The dog's head snapped open. So its head jerked up. But on a clenched fist, she tightened her grip. I'm really liking some of these changes. Actually, this is really interesting because I hadn't tried the prompt before. Um, approached. It's wet nose, twitching. I'm going to get rid of the willing herself to stone, but um, yeah. And so you can do this, like, I guess you could do this with a larger scope, or, um, but this is like very similar to how, like, when Corey and I were editing the initial half, we'd like go through and like look at words and play around with different things. So yeah. I might go for just Delilah squinted. Yeah. Um okay, I'm gonna take this and edit it, I think. Okay, so the yelp came again, but another yelp. It's really cutting down on the words. Um I guess we know it's her eyes, not Delilah's. Okay, crammed, it's changed. And again, it's told you what changes it's made and kind of like making the verbs stronger. Let's have a look at the prompts. Okay, this is another ash brush one. Okay, so we'll have to add it in. That's fine. Okay. Oh, did I forget to say let's continue? Okay, so these changes are removing unnecessary or redundant words. Where's oh okay, yes. I think it'd be interesting as well to see the original and the post. Um okay, this is really like shortening everything. I am all for this prompt. It's great. Um And again, things that are implied, cutting things, making it more streamlined. Okay, amazing. Let's go. Some of the things I didn't change, but that's the beauty of these. You can just choose what you do and choose what you don't do. Okay, so what is stage 7? Step 5, 6, 7. Okay. Okay, 6. Further refine the paragraph. Okay, interesting. It's completely just getting rid of that after all the changes. And of course, I could have just waited till the end and then put things in. That's totally fine as well. I don't think it did get rid of massive. But and then of course it checks against everything, makes sure that it's there, suitable. So that's a really cool prompt for just trying out that. Okay, so now I am going to copy this. So thank you very much, Ash Bash, for that. Okay. Let's add in. This is... Oh, it's another Ash Bash one. So I'll put in the code. There is no code for this, so I'm going to have to make this myself, but that's fine. I can show you. So what I'll do is I go onto prompts, close that. I am going to go to the general purpose prompt in workshop chat, clone it, call this would it be analysis? Yeah. Okay, interesting. I will have a look at that SSN back on the thing when I've copied and pasted that in. So I would like you to act as a creative writing assistant to help me brainstorm ways for my character to express a specific emotion. I will provide you with the emotion I want to focus on, as well as a brief character bio or codex entry that describes the character's personality, background, and emotional range, plus the scene that it is being used in. Your task is to generate a list of 5 to 10 fresh and unique ways for the character to express the given emotion, taking into account their personality and emotional range. For each suggestion, include a bullet point list of similar emotions, physical signals of behavior, internal sensations, mental responses, emotions it may escalate to, how the character may try and suppress the emotion, emotions it may de-escalate to, and associated power verbs. Ensure that the suggestions are consistent with the character's personality. Okay, so this isn't analysis. This would be more prep, I guess. Or edits. Edits. Select AI, edit, Brainstorm Emotion, 3.5. Delilah is frustrated that she cannot finish her work. Okay, agitated pacing. Stride, dart, prowl. Muttered cursing and self-talk, which happens a lot in the chapter. Yeah, those will definitely give ideas for how to act in a certain way. I mean, you could also do this through the character chat and like ask them about stuff. Okay, very interesting. I will copy that, and some of that might get used. Let me. And then I'm going to look at that prompts. Let me copy that. Copy to clipboard. Yeah, of course, her eyes. For the beginning of the paragraph, when her eyes screwed shut. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for catching that, SSN. Okay, we have our brainstorm emotions. Scene rubric is okay. So we've got 10 minutes left. I've just noticed. So, would you like to try the scene rubric, which goes into the 3 C's: conflict, choice, consequence, and grading them, or would you like to look more at the professional character report and get a report provided by the AI on different aspects of the character based on their codex entry? I think I have both of them. I'll get both of them set up with 3.5, but if you'd like to vote on whether to look at the character report or the scene rubric, let me know. Okay, scene rubric seems to be the select AI analysis. Scene rubric. Sonnet 3.5. Scene 1. So, yeah, I don't think I have to prompt anything, so just let's go. Okay, amazing. Everyone wants the scene rubric. Okay, let's begin. In the scene, Delilah Harris, a young technician, is repairing damaged power conduits in the infrastructure hubs. She discovers evidence of sabotage. She then encounters a bloodhound and its owner, Lord Aster. The scene is important because it establishes Delilah's ordinary world and introduces the inciting incident that will disrupt it. It shows the decaying state of Nova Bezos and hints at underlying tensions and potential rebellion. The scene suggests that characters can be deceiving and that even in a tightly controlled society, there are secrets and conflicts bubbling beneath the surface. The reader should feel a mix of curiosity, tension, and unease. They should empathize with Delilah's frustration with her circumstances while also feeling intrigued by the mystery surrounding the sabotage and the earring. A specific focus could be on Delilah's character development and her internal conflict between following the rules and her instinct to question authority. In Delilah's personal world, the main disruption is the discovery of potential sabotage and the earring that reminds her of her past. The discovery threatens to upset her relatively stable, if difficult, life as a technician. Step 2. What does Delilah Harris want? External pursuits. Do they get it? Evaluation? Good. Her external want in the scene is to repair the damaged power conduits and complete her job. This want is clearly defined and consistent throughout the scene. She persists in her work despite interruptions and distractions, showing her dedication to her task. However, her actions are somewhat predictable, as the want itself is not particularly complex or challenging. What does Delilah Harris need? Do they get it? So, evaluation fair. Her internal need is less clearly defined in the scene. There are hints of a deeper desire for understanding and connection, particularly related to her past. The discovery of the earring triggers this internal need, but it's not fully explored or resolved in this scene. The need exists, but it is inconsistent and not fully developed. What does the antagonist or force of antagonism want? It's represented by Lord Astron's system he represents. The external want is to investigate the sabotage and maintain control. The actions are somewhat predictable and doesn't provide a strong challenge. I think because their external goal in this instance is the same for now. Okay, so maybe have a bit more of a focus on that would be interesting. What is the conflict? The conflict in this scene is the discovery of sabotage in the power grid and Delilah's subsequent encounter with Lord Astor and his investigation. The conflict propels Delilah into a situation that forces her to make choices about how much to reveal and how to navigate the dangerous political waters of Nova Bezos. The conflict catches both Delilah and the reader by surprise and sets the stage for future developments. What is the choice? The main choice Delilah faces is whether to reveal her full knowledge about the sabotage and the earring she found. This is a difficult decision for her, as she must balance her desire for self-preservation with her potential moral obligation to share information. The character struggles with this choice, which adds tension to the scene. I would want to emphasize this more, I think, in the next go. What is the consequence? Fair. The immediate consequence is that she avoids immediate suspicion, but is left with the burden of her secret knowledge. This consequence is somewhat predictable and doesn't significantly alter her situation. However, it does set up potential future conflicts and developments. Step 3. Okay, here are 3 specific examples of how the author can improve the scene. Deepen her internal conflict. For example, when she discovers the earring, the author could delve deeper into her emotional reaction, perhaps showing a brief flashback or more vivid memory of her past. It establishes her internal need more clearly. Increase the tension with Asta, showing her fear and suspicion. Enhance the world building. So that has come, again, world building has come up quite a few times. And I think kind of that is definitely on me because I'm always over conscious about info dumping. So be interesting. But yeah, so there's some more tweaks that I would want to make to this. But that's some good information. Let me But I hope you found this useful. Did any of you have a favorite prompt that has been shared today? I would love to know. Because it's always such fun to see kind of everyone's like favorite prompts and like which ones they thought were more useful, which ones they want to try out. So please share with everyone in the comments and like in chat right now. Let us know which you enjoyed. So yeah, my plan of action, kind of the things I got, yeah. So sort out the pacing. Is the main thing, which I'd already done a lot of in the last round of edits, but I'm going to do more of this time. And yeah, I think I've kind of got some more clear ideas. I am certainly interested in trying out that line edit on more text. I could probably give it a bigger chunk of text. I just didn't want to overwhelm it. But yeah, it was very interesting. Yeah. I think the line. So thank you very much to Ashbash for sharing that. It seems to be everyone really enjoying that. I might have a play around with that a little bit more during the next Write With Me session, which they're on Wednesdays at the same time as this, but go on for a bit longer because I'm just like chilling and writing. I might also start writing chapter 2 a little bit. I'd also like to know before we go, this is the last session in the kind of editing. So is there anything you'd like to learn about in the next lesson, the next class, kind of within our series of sci-fi apocalypse? Do you want me to go over, do you want me to go just into then the next chapter and doing beats and fine-tuning those, or would you like me to cover something else? Yeah, it'd be really helpful because we're going to start planning that. Yeah, to John Luke, I totally agree. If you could apply that to a large trunk, amazing. So I will have to see how far we can push that. To be honest, you could probably just say, do it for the entire chapter. Like, it would be a lot of output tokens, but it would be worth it, I think. And, like, you would really be able to see the difference. I might try that on my Anthropic subscription. But yes, do let us know what requests you have for future classes within this series. And on that note, it is 1 minute past 5 where I am, and I can smell dinner, and it smells amazing. So I'll see you all on Wednesday.